Silio, the Honey Badger.
I'm JP. Miss Stanza. Now here's the news you need to know.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour.
Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour, episode 45. It's your boy, the Badger, and we're back, coming live at you from the 305 MIA. And yes, it is true, we are coming at you from the new studio, straight out of Kendall. It's your boy, and not only that, guys, we got a guest today. Our first official guest in the MIA 305, a good friend of mine, my homie Chris Silio. What's happening, dog? I'm going to give you a pound.
What's up, dude?
We're gonna miss. I just gave you a pound, and we missed that pound online.
That's fine.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're live. Thank you very much for coming back on the podcast, my man. We just did an interview recently, so I was just on your podcast.
Yeah, check it out. Chris Learns on Spotify. The episode with him, How to Become a Professional Fighter.
My man.
Yeah.
Yo, thank you for coming down, bro. I appreciate you coming in. How you liking the studio, bro? No. It's half of it is yours, so. You don't know, but this studio is amazing.
I really love the equipment. These mics are fantastic.
So it's going to be like a joint effort right now. This is going to be like a 50% effort, 50-50 effort, bro.
We're collabing, dude. We're collabing
right now. I love it. Yo, I appreciate you coming out here, man.
Hell yeah.
Welcome down. So how are we going to get started, bro? Introduce the people what we're coming at right now. Let the people know who you are.
I'm Chris Silio. I'm a blind comedian from Miami, Florida. Yeah, I've been doing comedy for 8 years. I just met Emilio in the last year and a half. That's when you started, right? You know?
Yeah, I started in
October, right?
October.
You're about to hit your.
We're coming up on a year now.
Do you have your date? Do you know your date?
October 5th, 2021.
That's good. I don't fucking remember my date for the life of me. I know it's April, and I think it's the first week of April, but.
How long do you say in the game now we have? How many years are we in the game?
7 years. April of 2015. So
2015.
So yeah, 7 years.
7 years. So depending on how often, because what I recognize with comedy, it's very similar to martial arts, where it's almost like the same length of time to get that mastery level. So, and I feel like around 5 to 7 years is gonna be you start to, after that 5 years, you start to feel like you break that little plateau mark. You know?
I mean, yeah. With everything, it's just the more time you get, you just get fucking better as you do the reps. You know, so. And it takes everyone different time, you know? There's no one set way of doing it. Some people fucking get famous in 3-4 years. Really famous. Pete Davidson was 19, Eddie Murphy was 18.
Eddie Murphy was 18 when he got famous.
SNL, he was on 18 on SNL or something like that, dude.
So I wonder how long he was I wonder at what age so that means when you're getting on stage, when you're getting noticed at 18, that means you're probably doing thespians, you'll be doing theater in school. You're starting from a very young age, right?
I guess, yeah. I would assume. I started at 19, and I can't imagine starting any sooner, you know? As is, I was already a 19-year-old in bars, being I don't know if I should be here.
Hey, you were 19 years old, starting out comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, boom. So this is going to be a perfect way to start off start off the podcast. What's your why? Give me your why, my man. What's your why for comedy? What made you start?
It was something I always wanted to do from a super young age. I remember telling teachers that I wanted to be on Comedy Central, and then being oh, they're gonna tell my parents I watch Comedy Central now, and being scared.
Way.
Yeah. But I sort of forgot about that for a while. I started going blind when I was 11, and I was really into video games, so that was all I really did for most of that time. But then I went blind at 18, and I was just sitting at home well, what the fuck am I gonna do now? And I was listening to comedy podcasts, and I was listening to all of them because that was great. I needed to fill up. I needed a new form of entertainment and comedy podcasts. And I remembered I love stand up. The whole time I always watch stand up. So I'd watch stand up and listen to comedy podcasts, and I was oh yeah, this is something I want to do. And then I wrote for a month and rehearsed in front of friends, all the terrible stuff you do before you start that you would never do Oh my god, dude.
How hard is it to perform in front of your friends, right?
Oh my god, my ears are hot talking about it, dude. I'm like so uncomfortable that I used to do that, you know. And then I started, like I said, April of 2015, and the first time I touched the mic, I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
How did you find the mic?
How did I find the mic?
Yeah, like was there
I found the mic online. I like one of my friends somebody told me about it. They said they do these open mics there on Thursday nights. And that was the only mic I did for a year, and then I started meeting other comics and they told me about other spots. And then Tarno was like, "Oh, yo, I'll drive you to the spots." So Tarno started taking me all the spots, and then I started hitting it like once I knew it was out there. I started going out every fucking night. Like when I first started, dude, like when I was really hitting it hard, I had a job and I would just like I was a maniac. I would just throw all of my paycheck into Ubering to every show. You know, I would spend $60 a night to do fucking comedy all the time.
You paid to do comedy in the beginning all the
Ubers.
All day
like,
long.
well, like it was like this is what I have to do. Like, all right, other people. I literally justified it. I was like, well, other people have like car insurance and payments and gas. This is just my version of that, you know. And then I lost my job, and I was like, well, I'm not doing that ever again.
But it goes to show you dedication. Like you put all the money that you had and that you earned, you dedicated to your craft. You know, like everything you did was towards comedy once you started doing it.
My budget has always been the same for my entire life. It is weed for the month, and then
that's number one, baby. That's number one, dog. Everything else after that, yo, I can go to sleep hungry, but I can't go to sleep sober.
That's like a part of the budget, and then like getting to comedy shows and doing comedy is part of the other part of it.
Fuck yeah. That's
and then obviously eating.
Baby. And eating, dog. And eat when you have to. You know what I'm saying?
And when I don't have to, when I'm bored, no, I'm stoned.
It's a great national pastime, bro. Mm-hmm. All right. So, yeah, I never really asked you about this. You know, we never really discussed it. So, if you don't mind, man, let's talk a little bit about it. So, you started going blind when you were 11 years old. You started getting, you said what was the deal with that?
So I like I had my first retinal detachment at 11. I was born with like birth defects on my eyes, and they didn't even know I had eyes. In most other countries, when I was born, I was a river baby. You know, they would have just thrown me in the river. Like I literally was born with like things covering my eyes.
Okay.
and then they like cut away the like. Tumors or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, he's got eyes. They're super fucked up. So that like I had a bunch of surgeries when I was super young, and then it was pretty good. I was doing pretty good up until that point. I had super thick glasses, like Coke bottle glasses, and I read shit like this. But it was pretty good. Like I could play video games. That's a big deal to me. To a kid, that's everything.
Hell yeah, you had those bulletproof windows.
Oh, I had bulletproof windows, dude. That's
okay.
And then I was like 12 and I had my first retinal detachment, and seventh grade. And so, yeah, I had a retinal detachment. That's where, like, the retina is like the part of your eye that sends the image to the brain, basically, like processes the image.
Yeah, okay, so the detached retina is not good, man. This could fuck up your vision for sure.
I mean, you know it in fighting and shit.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
like
there's a few fighters they take a few wrong hits, and then if it gets detached retina, then they can't see out of that eye.
Which, man, I really respect you, and I respect fighting, but that is my only gripe with it, man. I really do have that thought sometimes where I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded, dude. If you fucking knock yourself blind, like, you guys don't know. Like, it sucks. Like, and you're just gonna knock yourself blind for the glory in the sport. And I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. But fuck, dude, guys. Like, it sucks, guys.
Let's talk about that, bro. That's a really good point, man, because one of the things that has been kind of messing with me a little bit later in my career, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm 35 now, you know, and like what I'm getting a little bit worried and that we're seeing a lot more with now is like the concussions in the brain. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you've already seen like the NFL already has a long history of guys having like you know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw your intro to this podcast. No.
Yeah, it goes to show you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, we just had to get the engine revved up, dude. That's all.
You feel me, though, right? Hey, we're vibing now, though, dog. Yeah. Remember that conversation we were having in the car about the intros and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
true. It's
that's
true.
exactly why.
It's totally true.
Oh man. But yo, that's crazy, bro. So it's kind of crazy, right? That people risk something that they have freely when you already know what it's like to you know what I'm saying?
It sucks, dude. Like it's yeah. Like I wouldn't wish this upon my enemy, which isn't to say I'm upset or anything. I'm very fine with whatever I'm at in life. Like it doesn't affect me. Like it really doesn't affect me. But I just wouldn't wish it upon people, you know? Like I wouldn't want so Michael Bisping's had 5 retinal detachments, dude. I've had 5 retinal detachments. Like I know what that's like, dude. It sucks, dude.
Yo, Michael Bisping fought with one eye.
Yeah.
And lied to the UFC doctor about it so that he can get paid.
Well, I'm gonna go on here and say one eye not that bad. I had one eye for 4 years.
Oh, there we
That
go.
was peak vision, bro. One eye, I was like, yo, dude. They were like, you can drive with one eye, and I was like, oh yeah, I could drive with one eye. That's the problem, dude. I was too comfortable. I had one eye, and then the other eye, like I wasn't even wearing my bulletproof glasses anymore. I was in high school, and I like chose to wear contact lenses because I wanted to like, and then I wanted to not wear the fucking thick glasses anymore, dude. So I was like, oh, let me wear contact lenses. And then what took out my eye is like an envelope hitting my eye, and I was like, well, if I was wearing fucking goggles, like what's that basketball player? Damn, that'd be a hot reference if I remembered that.
Yo, remember we were talking about the laptop earlier?
Yeah, if I had basketball player goggles on, that wouldn't have happened. But that wouldn't have been cool, so I went with contacts.
Yeah, well, when you're younger, dog, cool over everything, dog.
Yeah,
you know
well, I'm still cool over everything, dude.
Yeah, dog. Ego first, baby.
But yeah, like it just seems crazy, man. It like, especially it's just like jiu-jitsu doesn't seem as bad. Like I like. But like MMA, yeah, you're gonna lose a retina, and most people's retinas are much fucking better. But you guys are just fucking, like
it's the eyes, man. It's like there's some the bone on bone are the ones that seem like hurt. You seen these guys like they throw a leg. Oh fuck! So
of course,
were you watching?
Yeah, no,
MMA?
I understood.
Were you watching MMA?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who was. You remember who was champion in 2015? I'm trying to think who was champion.
I went blind in 2014.
2014, yo. How old was I in 2014? That's when I was like 1 year in Thailand, dog. So you're talking like Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. Conor McGregor was the man, right?
Mm-hmm. Conor McGregor was still the man.
So 2014, the second eye goes, and that's when you felt that was what turned you to start doing comedy?
Yeah, I was like sitting at home. I was in college when I went blind, and obviously I stopped going to college to like I had to like figure out what I was, I couldn't just I had to figure out how to be blind. You have to learn how to be blind, I went to blind school first. I went to blind school before I went blind. So the timeline is actually I went blind. They fixed it for a week. Like I went blind for a week, and then they fixed it in 2013. Like
what is that like, yo? You were blind for a week?
I was blind for like a week. Yeah.
What a dick tease, dog.
And then they fixed it, and I had 8 months of usable vision, and then I went blind for real. Like I went in for an operation that they were like, yeah, this is an operation. Like we gotta like. You're like you've been slowly losing vision. We're gonna clean it up, and then they went in and they're like, you're gonna have vision at the end of it. Then they went in and I came out. And they were like, oh, yo, sorry, dude, you can't see this. Oh, sorry, my bad, dude. But yeah, there was just too much scar tissue at that point. My there's like too much scar tissue blocking my my eyes are fucked.
So it was like a failed surgery, basically, yo.
It wasn't like a failure on their part.
Did they give you like a percentage chance on what it was gonna be?
No, they were pretty confident, dude. They were pretty much like, yeah, well, you'll be fine when you get out. But it didn't matter. It was always like it was happening anyway. It was like going bad. Like towards the end, I was like I couldn't play games anymore. I couldn't read normal shit that I used to be able to read.
Did it take a lot of? Did you have to kind of go through like the grieving process and that? Would you gain like?
So, yeah, I mean that was a tough week, and then they fixed it, and I was like, we're good, dude, we back, dude. So in that like 8 months, I started taking. I didn't go to. There's a blind school here in Florida, Miami, It's called the Lighthouse. There's a bunch all over the place. I had to go to like a program for like high school aged kids who were going blind, and I wasn't a part of the program because like we really like up until the point where I lost my second eye. Like I had all my problems with my first eye, but other than like the school knowing, like we never like I wasn't. They were like, no, he's fine. You know, he's got one eye. He's like, I'm telling you, we were good.
Yeah.
They were trying to get me to drive.
Really? Have you driven? Have you ever driven before?
No. But I was like, they were like, that was like right before I'm blind. They were like, yeah. You just study for the test. You'll totally be able to drive.
Oh man, so what? That's like around like 15, 16.
16,
huh?
yeah, 17. You know. So. My bad. Where the fuck was I?
That you were 16, 17, like they were trying to get you to drive.
Oh no. So I.
You said
oh yeah,
it?
the school.
Oh, the
I like
school?
yeah, like I went blind and then I like went to this blind school and then I was like in it for 8 months and I was like, it's fine.
What was the blind school like? So how is everybody in there? Everybody's in there at different levels or
different levels of blindness. There's only like 30 of us in the class.
And they all have blind from different reasons?
Different reasons. And then like half of the reasons that you go blind are traumatic brain injuries. So there's like all of us going blind. Some of us just have eye problems and then others are, you know, mentally, literally disabled. You know, some of them are mentally disabled, but we're all sort of in the same class.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
So it's like a wild dynamic. Yo.
It was a wild time.
And you had your bearings pretty. You're like you're in there 100%, dog.
And then, but it also like the classes would also take place and just like old people would be at the school as well, because like people go blind at different ages. It's not.
Gotcha.
It doesn't strike at any one time. You know.
Any cute girls working there?
Dude, that was the best, dude.
There you
That
go.
was damn, bro.
Make sure the last thing you see
man.
before you go out is something nice, dog.
Dude, I was yeah, it was just a blind kid and the teacher was mad hot, dude. And I was like one of the few not blind and I was like, yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, man.
It was cool. It was a fun time, but I was not blind and I just was like, I'm fine. I was, you know, and I didn't really take it. I learned some things. I started using a cane. Like I never used a cane before that. Like I didn't start using a cane until the first time I went blind entirely, which was
so how fucking the cane is no joke, huh? The cane is like pretty. You can use it a lot.
The cane is
It's a game changer. And there's like a
Yeah.
skill to it. You got like there's little things you can do, right? So always make sure. Do you have like a four corners, like the classic three, like the big three that you always hit before you move or anything? Like left, right, up, down or something?
You just clear a path in front of your feet. You gotta like just sweep in front of your feet. That's all it is. So like we'd go on like orientation and mobility walks. But so I was learning that before I went blind. But when you use a cane while sighted versus how you have to use a cane while blind is different. You know, because while sighted, it's really just like there to like make sure you're level, like like you can use your eyes a little bit more. You got to use your eyes as much as you can while you got them. You know, that's what they teach the people who are like losing their vision. They're like, well,
to keep the strength.
Yeah, you know, you still gotta rely on the vision. Don't just like not use it. You know. So, but once I went blind, I had to go back to school. Like I had to like relearn everything. So
regular high school.
No. To like the blind school program.
And then you had to relearn. Then you had to really learn like how to use a stick blind, how to do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the learning curve like that? Like you can bang it out pretty quick, or what are we talking?
I might have yada-yada'd my way through a lot of it, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I might have been like, the instructors are blind too, so they're not really checking your work, dude. I was just like, I got this, dude.
Yo, it's literally the blind leading the blind.
I mean, no, it's like literally like, so the blind kids, it was, there was like, when we were in the blind, like the high school age program, we would have outings, but some of the instructors were blind too, so we'd have to have like sighted guides. So I think the like rule was like a sighted guide for every 5 blind people or something like that.
Okay.
5 blind kids.
Yeah.
So, but they would just make me sighted guide. I wasn't not blind. I was just less blind.
You had to, yeah, dog. You were like at 40%, 35%.
Yeah,
dog.
exactly. I was just less blind, and
And
then
then just taking down. But you were like the most. You were like the
Yeah,
Superman
exactly.
there. You're like, yo, you're in charge. You're the boss, dog. You're showing the teachers what's up, yo. Yo, so I wanted to ask you, man, because one of the things we were talking about in our podcast, bro, and you were telling me that you related, and when I was telling you that my first time going into a gym, right, and I was talking about how I just knew for the first time in my life, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
I remember you were telling me you were finding that. Let's talk about a little bit about that. When did you find that? Like, when did you find your thing?
I mean, like literally, like I'm so lucky or blessed, whatever you want to call it, that I had the thought that I wanted to do the stand-up thing at 19. I started writing and taking it seriously, listen to albums, literally the first time I touched the mic, I was like, this is it. And then I did jokes and it went good. Like it was fun. But that had nothing to do with it. I knew it before I said the word, you know? I was like,
before you went on stage, you knew.
well, like when I went on stage and touched the mic, that was it. Like it was a weird moment, but I was like, oh yeah, this is fucking it, dude.
When it's over, when you finish, like when the time is up or whatever, like you finish and you get off the stage and you look back at it and it's just like something clicks, you know?
Oh, I mean, I'm telling you, I felt it in the moment. I literally had the thought, like, before I told my first joke, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I do, you know? And that's cool, man. It's like, it's like I said, lucky or blessing, but like, I do feel like I'm doing exactly what I was supposed to do. You know, like, and that's a great feeling, you know.
Like you're living out your personal legend, yo.
Yeah, and it sucks sometimes, dude. Like I don't have a job. Like this is all I got. So, but you know, that's the only thing of it is like I may not have the standard thing that everyone else has, but I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, like the path is correct. It may look ugly to other outsiders, but like I am doing the path, you know?
You're doing what makes you happy.
I hope so, yeah.
Or how about this, dog? You got lucky enough at least that, would you say that you're doing something that whether you can see or not, what circumstance in life you were at, you would still be doing comedy?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that for sure. I would be doing comedy. I mean, I already do. You know what it's like, dude. We do comedy in Miami, man. It's not the most glamorous. It's sometimes the most treacherous, and I do it. I love it. Like I do, you know. If you didn't love it, and that goes for everyone still doing it in Miami, we really fucking love it, dude. It sucks sometimes, bro.
What is it about comedy what is it about that, right? Like it's something about that. Something about the hardness, right? What is it that makes it so addictive, right? Because it's something that's special there, right? That it's like I noticed the same thing with competing that you get when you get.
Well,
on
we get
stage,
to compete
right?
every night. It's just
every night.
there's no we don't have to wait for another fight. We can go find another fight right now. Like there's somewhere with a mic that they'll let you tell jokes at.
And Miami's a fight, dog.
Oh yeah, there's always another fight. There's always another fight. Exactly, and like it's great. You get to like, it's also like fighting like we've talked about. It's an equalizer where like you kill and then you go up the next day and you fucking bomb.
You're like, what the hell happened, right? It's like, what is?
Well, it's like, all right, well, that's probably more real. It just instantly puts you right back. It like humbles you instantly, you know?
Yes, yeah, I got you. The great equalizer, yo.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. So you were saying like anybody that you drove that made you want to get on stage that like that you saw that you remember like that really rang a bell on you and that like really
Here?
Or in general, like on TV, like before, like when you started writing jokes and stuff like that, like anybody.
Oh, we're gonna have to edit this out,
now,
but Louis C.K.
Yeah, hell yeah, dog. Louis C.K.
Yeah, I'm a big Louis guy. Like that he was the fucking man. But when I started going blind, man, it was like podcast dominated me for like. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so people like, you know, Rogan, Diaz. That was like, but really like Legion of Skanks. That's been the biggest segmented influence I definitely would have of them. But for that, like, and Opie and Anthony, the comics on Opie and Anthony, there's a lot of like, I listen to it all, man. I like listen to a lot of different stuff. So
when you do the Opie and Anthony, we were talking about this before. You go back old school and you go back into the archives and just pick up on the older stuff too.
Yeah,
and
that's
listen
all
to
it
old
is.
interviews,
That's all-
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why. That's when everybody talks about Opie and Anthony. That's what they mean, right? Like they're going back. That's how good that show is, dog.
It's
it
a
resonates
treasure.
3-4
It's a
years
treasure.
later, right?
10, 15 years later, dude. Yeah. It's great. And man, like it's got early Bill Burr, Louis, Patrice, Florentine DeRosa, like Bobby Kelly. There's just so many, and a bunch of like Bobby Lee has great appearances. Chris Rock, the Chris Rock Patrice episode. Check that out if you fucking have never seen it.
I've never seen that one yet.
What?
I'm gonna
What?
read my archives. Yeah.
Oh
it's all right,
shit,
bro. I
dude!
can admit when I'm wrong,
oh
bro.
shit, dude! That's a
I-
fucking good
I can
one.
admit that. I can admit. I want to check it out right now. I was just listening to a Chris Rock one before.
Chris
Yo,
Rock.
Patrice O'Neal used to go. Patrice O'Neal used to go hard on Open Anthony. Like,
No, that's the best
one
part.
of the-
They
one of
let
the legends,
they
dog.
let fucking people go hard, bro. They let people go super hard, and they are the birthplace of podcasts, dude. Like that's every comedian podcast is sort of O&A.
yo, but Open Anthony was like on air, like on XM, right? They were like on Sirius Radio.
So they
or
did. They were like,
on,
they were like on regular radio, in New York, and then they got fired from regular radio, and then they got picked up on XM, and then Sirius XM, and then they got back on regular radio, and then they were only on Sirius XM. They did everything. They did all versions of it.
and they had everybody, dog. And they had like a big podcast hub too. Like, I guess they kind of like started it because they had like the long form conversations, but a little bit.
Rogan
before
says
podcasts,
it, man. Rogan thanks them.
He wanted to be like kind of like mimic their style, right?
Yeah, he really does say that as an influence. So
Yo, so 2015, all right, you're getting into comedy. What's the scene like in Miami, bro? Like, it's pretty big right now, but I'm pretty fresh into the game, so I'm sure like everything. Tell me about the old school, bro. Fill me in on the Miami-Dade freaking.
So my best
Comedy
so
scene, dog.
2016 is when I really started hitting it hard here. So 2016, I mean, yeah, it's we do. You guys don't really have to deal with as many. We did every Monday and Tuesday. We did a room that was just us. Like, it wasn't a bar. Well, we did one was a bar and one was a coffee shop, but it was just 8 to 10 comics, and they were the only ones in the joint at all. And we had to watch. We couldn't wait outside because there was literally nobody.
So you had to like give an audience for your peers.
Had to. It was a comics room only. So it helped writing and stuff because you couldn't do the same stuff over there.
Gotcha.
You will kill yourself at the end of the night, but like nowadays I don't really see that as much, man. I like every show's got a few people, like every open mic.
Good, right?
No, it's good, yeah. Like they were real bad rooms. We did a couple real bad rooms. It was just us, only comics. But it was cool. Like we were tight because of it and stuff.
And then when you do get a crowd, do you feel like would the crowd surprise you and kind of like you have to get used to the crowd, or when you see the crowd, you just absolutely be like crush it because you're like, oh my God, there's people, and just rock it? You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
would say that's the case nowadays, where like that was the tough part about Miami is like, we are all fighting for people's attention. Nobody wants to watch a comedy show. They're there to do cocaine and talk to their friends and talk about themselves and flex. And it's not about watching a show for the most part.
There's a lot of good shit to do in Miami, right? There's so many.
There's a lot of good shit to do in Miami, dude. So we do a lot of comedy assaults, dude. We do a lot of like where people don't even know that there is going to be a show. And so after doing that for 7 years, now when I get a show at a fucking place with people watching the show, I'm so excited, and it's easier because it's not like they want to watch comedy, man. I don't know what it's like. I really don't. Like it throws me off every time.
It's like a surprise almost for after like
How good they are, yeah.
And it's from like doing a lot of bar shows, right? Like you do like a lot of bar shows. Yeah, 'cause
That's
a lot
all
of
it
times-
is in Miami. There's no club. We don't have a club.
And the people that a lot of times when we're performing, they don't even know they're about to hear comedy. So
That's
like,
why I
they're
called
gonna
it an
go-
assault. Yeah.
Yeah, I got. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
Bro, so you were already starting writing jokes like when you went on stage and you did your first mic. You already had written a few jokes.
So, all right, this is a cool one to talk about because I see a lot of people do it. I was of the ilk of, I'm gonna write a new set every week. I'm gonna write a new set every week, and it's just I've seen a lot of people say that, and it's what you think in the beginning, because you go to a couple of these first, you scope them out, and you see people doing the same you see people doing the same jokes, and you're like, bro, those guys suck, dude.
It's like Groundhog's Day.
But that's not that's comedy, man. That's what you gotta do. It's called building a fucking set, dude. Like, you have to do the same jokes. It's how you work on them. So, like, I would write out these long, super long, like, I'd read through them, and I'd throw them, and then I realized that that's not how I write jokes, you know? Like, I was totally off. And then I figured out, like, my style of writing jokes, which is just, like, I prefer doing shorter stuff.
So how do you recommend? That's another great segue right there. Finding your voice, you call it, right? Like writing your. I guess.
I don't know how to tell people to find their voice though.
That's a weird one, right?
I will say that one of my only things I say about people starting is, like, it doesn't have to be true, but it has to be honest. Like, I really, like, believe that wholeheartedly for you to start stand-up. Well, not start, but, like, for you to get good at stand-up. Your jokes don't have to be true, but they have to be honest, you know?
Elaborate a little bit.
They gotta, like...
For the concussed folks out there.
They have to feel genuine, man. They have to feel like it's you actually doing the thing. It can't be too far removed. I see a lot of young guys, and I like dark stuff. That's not a problem, but, like, that are just dark and absurdly dark for because that's what they think is gonna get them places.
Oh, like they're trying to, like, boom. Like
shock, but it's not shocking.
Value.
It's not as shocking as if you were just sort of honest. You know, like, if they believe that you would be they don't believe that you raped your sister and cut off her head. You know, like, they don't which, guys, I know that sounds dark. Would be a punchline at an open mic, okay? Somewhere in America that is being told on a stage in an empty bar right now, and they think it's great. They're like, oh yeah, dude. When I went up there, and I get it. Like, I say fuck, and the only guy that can tell that joke, that should be telling that joke, is the guy whose sister got raped and cut off her head, dude, or whatever. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I wonder where they get the darkness from.
Because no, they don't get it from anywhere. It's just from their brain. They think that's what is going to work. But you got to just be honest, man. You just got to be you and talk and like, figure out what you want to say. Like, that's more important, man. I don't know, you know.
No, definitely, man. And, like, I've heard a lot of comedians speak about saying, like, like, in the beginning, don't say things that you think are gonna, like, don't say things that you think the crowd is gonna think funny. Say things that you think are funny to you, or, like, kind of like,
you got it, yeah, dude, yeah, like,
or like I've found myself in the beginning doing that. Like, when I first started, like, my first few jokes I wrote, but then I seen what everybody else is doing, so I'm like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just trying to, like, get the attention of the audience or whatever, and then it's like, nah, fuck the audience. Like, think what makes you funny, what makes you laugh is probably always gonna be better off, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, like,
no, you're right. You're like you gotta. I mean, you know, the audience is the great decider of what is funny, you know, but you can't go into your joke writing process thinking of them. You gotta think of what you're like. Oh, that's good, you know. It's not what they think is good. You're right. Yeah.
So the goal, I was at your cribbo, all right? We did the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys make sure to check it out. Chris Learns.
Spotify.
What I got to check out the bus. Talk to us about the bus. Let us know what's going on.
So me and my friends, me and my amigos, two other stand-up comedians, Sebastian Rodriguez and David Martin, we're converting a school bus into a tiny house sort of tour bus. And we're going to tour the country and do stand-up. We are called Scheme Supreme. Follow Scheme Supreme _ on Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, we're converting a school bus, and it's almost done. We're planning on being out of here in November, and the goal is just to, like, do shows across the country, you know, go into fucking cities, try to, like, work our way through cities' comedy scenes and make content all across the country. So
That is an amazing. Yo, who thought about that idea?
Seb was big into like watching van videos and stuff like that, and he was always kicking around being like, oh, like wouldn't this be super cool? And then we were going to music festivals together, and we were like, yeah, well, like what if we had a bus? And then so then we bought a bus on Facebook.
No way. You found it on Facebook. Like
it was here. It was here in Florida, in Orlando, only 4 hours away from Miami, and they went and checked it out. They didn't even tell me actually. Because they wanted to do a cute little video of surprising me with a school bus. But
no way.
Yeah, they didn't even tell. Like we were planning on doing it. They were like, "You're for sure down for this," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm for sure down for this." And a big deal of it like was being like that we have to like park it in my backyard because it's perfect. You've seen where it's parked.
Yeah, no, it fits good too, dog. Like you guys got space there.
Yeah, I knew it was perfect, and I was like, "Yeah, we're definitely gonna be able to park my bus there," but I hadn't asked my parents yet. So then they bought the bus, and we went and go up and saw it, and I was like, oh shit, now I actually have to tell my parents we're fucking parking a bus back here, dude.
So your parents didn't know? You're like,
they didn't
Mom.
know it. I literally had to be like, hey, I have a school bus. Like I own a school bus, and it's going to be parked back here.
And they were chill with it? It was all right?
Yeah, it was cool. It took them a little bit. We did all right. We got there.
Hell yeah, but they know that you're gonna be chasing.
We had the
dreams,
Shark Tank pitch them. We like had a business plan, and we're like, "This is what we're gonna make." We had other visuals of like other school buses, and we're like, "This is what it's gonna look like." But yeah, we got it, and that was almost 4 years ago. In Black Friday of this year, it'll be 4 years of it being down here.
So you got the bus before coronavirus.
Before coronavirus, and every year we went. This is the year we're gonna leave. You know.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much work, dude. It was so much work.
It's a lot. I saw the truck recently, and how far away do you guys think you are right now?
No, we're hoping out of here in November. Like 4 years. It took us 4 years, and we built a school bus. You know, we're done. We're fucking
got showers.
Yeah, we got a shower. We got rooms. We got propane running through the whole thing. We got an oven. We got a closet. We got 3 different beds in separate rooms.
You guys gonna be ready to be slinging jokes all around the country, dog.
Slinging jokes, making fucking content, dude. I'm super pumped. That's what we want to do.
Who's the part of Scheme Supreme? So we got 1/3 right with us right now.
Yeah, David Martin, Sebastian Rodriguez. When I started, they were both already probably a year or two in, and they were the guys I thought were fucking hilarious. Like they were like the people that both of them. I'm serious. Were like they just hit like. Or my kind of comedy, and then we started talking shit, and we like realized we liked the same fucking podcasts, and you know vibed, and so we started going to music festivals, and that's how like and other getaways.
Yo, what kind of music festivals you hitting? Like the raves or like what are we talking? Like 2-day ones?
3-day camping. We went to Okeechobee Fest twice.
Damn, see, I never done nothing like that, bro. That's
it's
gotta
awesome.
Be a good time,
it's the best, dude. No. The camping festivals fucking rule. It sucks having to leave a festival at midnight and go to your hotel room and drive to your hotel room. It sucks. So a camping festival, you get fucked up. The shows go on until 1 or 2 in the morning, and then you can go back to your campsite, or they just have other shows that are running until 7 in the morning. So you just like, and everybody's there on the same wavelength. So you're just walking around being like, whoa, what's up? Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's amazing. Yo, in Thailand, they have the Full Moon Festival, like in Koh Phangan.
Oh, yeah.
They have like little shuttles that you can get a hotel, and the shuttle will take you like to the party and back, and the party will just go for 2 or 3 days or whatnot. Mm-hmm. I guess it's every full moon. That's when it happens, you know.
That's
obviously.
Great. So it's once a month.
Probably similar, you know. But like, what kind of music they playing at the Okeechobee one, dog? Like,
so they do like a bunch of different stuff. The Okeechobee, like all night, they do raves and stuff, EDM raves and shit. But like, they're normal. Like they've got like big headline named and the main stages up until like 1 or 2 in the morning. And that's like everything from like Tame Impala to like electronic people. We saw Anderson .Paak there. A few hip hop people. I saw Earth Gang there last year. It was cool.
And you ever fuck it up in the mosh pit, y'all?
I fuck it up in the mosh pit, dude. I fuck it up in the mosh pit. I'm a mosher, dude. I've been to like rolling outs here, and that's all moshes, and it's fun.
Oh, man,
I love the energy, dude. I actually like it's bad. It's to a point where like I hate sitting at a concert, dude. I want to be in that fucking pit, dude. I need to feel other people fucking.
Probably feel alive. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta. Yeah.
When you go, do you have somebody that you go with? And
Yeah, I always.
You can veer off on your own and shit, or you kind of stay pretty much.
I just
pretty much stay with like a chaperone, a little bit like you guys stay close.
Yeah,
much
homies,
the whole time,
homies.
You know
I wouldn't call them chaperones, you know.
Yeah, not chaperone, but like you know what I'm saying.
I just stay on the homie. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. So, how was Did you feel a difference between the comedy like before coronavirus and after you?
I would say a lot more people started post-corona. Like, you know, people were sitting in their homes thinking about what they wanted to do with the rest of their life. And so a lot of people had the idea to start doing stand-up.
A lot of COVID babies, huh?
A lot of COVID babies. And then people seem to be enjoying shows more, I think. They were, at least for a while, they were happy to get out of the house, and comedy was a good choice, you know, especially when they were still sort of worried. But Miami's back now. I don't really feel a difference, dude. Miami's back to just being Miami.
Do you remember the first show back from the coronavirus? Like, what was the first show back that you did? I wonder what it was like, yo.
I don't know, man. I know that I was fucking rusty. I know that I was.
Did you do anything online or anything? Was there like any Zoom or like were you really?
I wouldn't do a Zoom comedy show if you held a gun to my head, dude.
That's got to be crazy, dog. Because it's like you're almost performing for nobody. You know what? It's kind of, but yo, how much more crazy is it than doing a podcast like live streaming?
It's crazier. Like it's not. It's way different. Like I don't do my jokes into the microphone for an hour on a podcast, you know? Like we're talking shit.
Yeah,
like
just chatting shit.
It doesn't feel gay. You know? Like I don't know. Like it just sucks to like be like, all right, these are my jokes to a camera. Like I don't know, man. I want the crowd. I want to, you know.
Did you watch any Zoom takes? Did you watch any Zoom ones did you watch any when you were at the Cribbo during the Corona?
Zoom what?
Any Zoom comedy or like was that a thing or what?
I watch like podcasts and stuff. I'm sure,
and, stuff like this, yeah.
And I hate it, dude. Podcasting on Zoom sucks. It like.
Let's talk about it, dog. Because I experienced this myself.
It sucks, dude. It's
different,
like,
right?
Nobody has a good microphone. Like I play online games. I know how good talking to your friends online can sound, and these guys do it terribly. Like you know, like they all are using a webcam mic.
Or the phone, or
their phone,
or they put it like this, right? Like, or they don't
terrible,
turn it,
dude.
You know
and they don't know how to like, you know. And it's not everyone's misfiring all the time. You know, you're always like, blah, 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 like.
Always, that's what I notice a lot. And then the Wi-Fi is different too. Like I did one when I was in quarantine after my fight, where we had to get back into Thailand during the coronavirus. You had to do like one of those hotel ASQ. You have to do like quarantine in the hotel for 2 weeks before you can get back into the city. So I remember I did a few podcasts from the hotel there, and it was like tough, man. Like you talk to people, you ask something, like, what's that? You know, like the questions are a little bit off. You know?
Yeah,
so
it sucks. What was that fucking quarantine in a hotel like? Did that just suck, dude?
Dog.
That sounds like it would suck.
This sucks so bad, man. So I fought, like I was living in Thailand, I was living in Bangkok, and then everything got shut down. So I went to go fight in Singapore, but it was like in front of no crowd. So like to go fight in Singapore, I had to take all these crazy
yeah, what's that like? Is no crowd fighting? Are you like less hype about no crowd fighting? Because that's different than a Zoom thing. You know,
it's
are you
similar,
fighting
dog.
for the crowd reaction? God damn it!
No, that's the thing. Yeah. All right. So some people like the no crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people like it. Some people don't like it. For some people, it's harder to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Because like for some people,
oh, it's harder to like realize you're there.
Yeah, like some people were told me that like when they fought with no crowd, like when the fight starts and they start going, it's like they feel like they need to get hit. They're like, damn. But we're like sometimes when you walk out, it's like shh.
That hits you. That hits you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Like when you go on stage, it feels the same. Like when that spotlight is on you.
Totally.
You know, like the spotlight in Taurus when that light one. Bam, you know. Yo, when you go on bigger stages, do you always? Can you ever see the crowd, or is the crowd always kind of like
what?
Like when you get on a big stage?
Ask that again.
When you get on a big stage, right? Like when you look out, boom. Oh yeah, well.
yeah. I was like, no, I understood your question.
That went over my head, dog. Oh man. So then. Oh, that's a good one. Yo, so then how long off did you have to take during the coronavirus before you could do comedy again?
Thankfully, we live in Florida, so it was only like 8 months. It wasn't that bad.
8 months after. Oh yeah, I just hit the little. 8 months after 5 years nonstop.
Oh yeah, it sucked.
Grinding every day.
It did suck. It did sort of suck.
It was like getting a drug taken away from you, bro.
Yeah.
Like you get to go on stage. How often were you going on stage before coronavirus?
I had maybe slowed a little bit, but I was still hitting it like, 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, 2 or 3. What do you feel is like the ideal amount of comedy that you do that you're feeling like a week that is like
I feel.
What do I say minimum a good amount.
I don't know. Like I don't know because I don't get out as much anymore as I used to. But like when I was really out, I was I try to hit it 4 or 5 nights a week. Four would be because in Miami it's tough. There's not a lot of weekend gigs, So and there's not multiple. It's not New York. There's not multiple places down the street from each other. If you're hitting multiple rooms, you're driving almost a county in distance.
It's like 30 minutes and like it's like
at
30,
least.
20 minutes.
And I can't do that shit.
It's gonna be a little tougher. You're gonna have to have a road dog. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have to like boom, bum, bum, bum.
Exactly.
You guys, you do some doubles on you do some doubles sometimes like on Thursdays, right? You do some.
Whenever
doubles?
if I can do a double somewhere, I will. But in Miami, it's just harder to do. Like you're not people who are like, yeah, I've done 10 shows. I don't know. I don't see where you're doing these 10 shows, dude. You got to be driving all over the fucking thing, dude.
It's a lot of work, dog.
Yeah.
For me, starting out, what I'm noticing in like working for the comedies, you got to be vigilant because it's that nightlife, yo. The nightlife is no joke.
You got to.
It's late nights. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, do you get used to getting home? Like, you reckon?
I'm a late guy. Yeah, I've always been a late
owl,
guy.
Dog?
I've always been a late guy.
You like to write in the morning, so then you do your writing at night. A lot of people like to write at night when it's quiet.
No, I don't. I don't know if I write. Honestly, I talk shit. I talk a lot of shit with comics. That's mostly how I write. So at shows, like talking shit with comics is how I write. But other than that, like I get hit with jokes. Like I'll like have a thought, but I'm not very good at sitting down and writing.
I got you. And do you ever rehearse? Do you practice your lines?
No, man, you gotta. That's not the. you ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that, dude.
Yeah. All right. Fuck yeah. That's what's up, dog. What's your theory on that? You don't gotta rehearse. You don't think?
You're rehearsing every night, right? You should be rehearsing every night on stage.
Exactly.
You should be out there doing it. I mean, some people, whatever people got to do it. But I'm just saying I don't rehearse. That would feel fucking real silly to me. I did it the first time. I did it like the first time. I'm telling you, I did it a couple times the first time in a mirror and then to my friends, and then I was like, yeah, I can't do this. This is crazy,
There's only one real gauge, and that's the audience, right?
There's only one thing in this game. Like there's nothing else other than the audience laughing. Everything else doesn't matter. I don't know, man. I don't know about taking comedy classes. I don't know about you just gotta go up there and do comedy, man.
The best way to do it is to do it.
The only way to do it is to do it. Like literally, there is nothing else in stand up. There is you can't. If you're not doing it, you're not doing it. There's only doing or not doing it. It's binary. You're either on stage or you're not.
Yeah, there's only one way to get good at it, right?
Yeah, there's only one way, and that is to do comedy in front of people.
And I bet you that's why it takes so long to craft. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, no matter how much you practice at home, no matter how much you write jokes, it doesn't matter.
None of it matters.
You gotta get on stage. Unless you're in front of those people, that live time is like. It's like the hyperbolic time chamber, right?
It's also like, yeah. It's if you haven't written, or if you're writing and you haven't been on stage in 3 months, and you're like, I've been writing, none of that's gonna be good, or you're not gonna know if it's good until you get it in front of people. But like, yeah, you have to bring it in front of people to know if it's good.
Here's a good one. Here's a question. Here's a funny one that I have for you. when you go on, all right, so this is a new theory that I'm doing right now. When I think something, like I don't ever practice jokes on people or tell people what I want to say. I just go on stage and say it. But in the beginning, sometimes I would do that. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I still catch myself doing it sometimes. But I don't know if you ever done something in the beginning that you see like a lot of white belts, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of rookies doing like the
Bro, don't get me started, dude. Why are you trying to get me in trouble on this podcast?
Come on, let's do this, dog. Let's get into it. Because you know what I'm saying? We had to dig.
If you ask me,
we had to peel the layers, dog. We had to peel the layers.
Me,
I'm peeling the layers, baby.
if you start a sentence with, "Hey man, I got this joke," I'm turning off my ears. That's all there is to it. I don't know. Sneak it in, fucking, like, if we're having a conversation and you're doing a bit, that's fine, dude. But if you stop the conversation to be like, well, actually, tell me what you think about this, I'm going to shut it off my ears and tell you, that's great, man.
Because there's no gauge, right? There's no gauge.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think at all. My opinion means zero in this matter, you know? I could think it's hilarious or whatever, or not think it's hilarious. But the audience is the only thing that matters, man. My opinion don't matter for shit, dude. I'm fucking nobody.
Pet peeves.
I don't got many pet peeves, dude. I believe that everything is right. Like, you know, I'm not far enough, man, to tell people what to do. All I can tell people is what I do, and what I do is I show up and I tell jokes, dude. That's all I do.
That's all it is. Not much to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess at the end of the day, right? Like, it's the one craft, or like that's one thing I've been experiencing a lot. Just the only way to do it is to get better, is to do it every time, and it has like a lot of similarities to fighting, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't like sitting inside. I think that, you know, whatever. That's a pet peeve, I guess. I don't like sitting inside during a show. I'd rather be outside talking shit with comics.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's a little gem that I just got from you there. Yeah. What do you?
But like Chris Rock says, you should be sitting inside. You know, that's a thing. Like, it's different schools, but like my school is I can't do it. I'd rather be outside talking shit with comics. You know, because that's how you get bits, man. You're talking funny shit. Like I don't even want to like. I do this because I love you, dude. I don't even want to talk comedy, dude.
Yeah.
But like,
when I
I love comedy. I like making comedy outside. Like that's writing comedy out. Like being like, yo, man, you see this? Ba 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 ba. Like that's writing comedy, man. Like riffing and shit. So I'd rather be doing that with the fucking killers than being inside, like waiting for my set. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. And outside, that's when you can make the connections. You know what I mean? You can meet the relationships, and you're gonna have the.
That's a big deal. Obviously, like you got to
camaraderie. There's not a lot of comedians, huh?
Oh, it's a small scene. We all know each
scene,
other.
Huh?
Everyone knows each other.
And then, all right, small scene. We were saying that. When did you do your first podcast? How long have you been podcasting for, yo?
I did a podcast. We started a Scheme Supreme podcast and. Probably right before the pandemic, 2018, 2019.
Oh, wow. So you had the Scheme Supreme before the pandemic.
Yeah. We've been going hard on that. That's fun. I love that. That's my like I'm very proud of what I'm doing with Chris Learns. Like it's been a challenge. I'm really trying to produce all that on my own. But all that to say, I love the Scheme Supreme podcast. It's fun, dude. Like I like just riffing about stuff, topics, you know, like towards the end, especially like we were really hitting our stride. I really felt like we come in with topics, we come in with videos, like and we just try to be funny for an hour. It was great. I loved it.
And how long did you guys go for? You guys went during the coronavirus? Were you able to pick up during the coronavirus, or did you slow down there?
No, we still were doing coronavirus. These guys are at my house every day. When the coronavirus first struck and everyone was home, nobody was working, we put in a month or two of straight bus work. So these guys were here at my house every day. So yeah, we would still do podcasts all the time.
And then you guys just pod from the cribbo right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But do you do you do video on the Scheme Supreme?
Yeah, we do video as well.
You're gonna be able to do Scream Supreme on the bus also too. Then you guys are gonna be able to keep the ball rolling.
That's the point.
Do you feel like the podcasting makes your stand up better, yo?
Yeah, I would say that it helps. I think it helps because you're just fleshing out bits. You're doing an hour of bits, and if you say something you like on I've definitely have taken bits that from the podcast and brought them to stage. You know, because you're just making comedy for an hour. I do say, yeah, if you don't have a fucking podcast, man, get a fucking podcast. I keep saying it to people. It's not that hard. Me, a blind guy, and a concussion patient are doing it right now, dude.
Yo, we're making it happen, dog. You know what I'm saying? Where there's a will, there's a way, baby. It definitely is. I know when I first started, I had the podcast for like about a year or two before I started doing stand-up. And here, let me get you on a refill.
It's good, dude. All right. Yo, that was quick. He's speedy with it.
Boom. My man. So what's the plans, doggy? 2000, we're looking at November, ETA for the...
November, and then up Florida. Probably stay in the South for the winter, you know? And then out to everywhere else, man. I really want to get to New York. We were looking at places to park the bus in, like, right in Jersey and, like, to just, like, take the train over or whatever or drive the car over. Figure it out.
Have you traveled for comedy yet?
I've done, like, Colorado because, like, my fam lives there. My brother lives there, so I'll go there and do comedy there sometimes, but not really. Oh, man, I really want to take a New York trip, dude. That's like... But I'm going on this comedy trip on the bus, so I'm just like, I'll show up with the bus. It's cool.
For the, what about Georgia, Tennessee? They got a lot of good shit, dog.
They got a lot. I am excited to do Nashville and like Louisiana. Like I think that shit's gonna be fun as shit. Atlanta's got a great comedy scene. There's a lot of great comedy scenes, man. So we're very excited to like take on all of them, you know.
Yeah,
and just like fucking try to dominate top fives, dude.
Are you doing comedy tonight? What's the schedule for this weekend? What you got going on, dog?
No, yeah, I told you I got a boot camp, so I'm gonna try to be out. But I'm probably gonna have a low key night tonight. But I'm trying to be out for the rest of the week.
Yeah, you trying to learn some jiu-jitsu or what, dog? I think
we should do that. We should do that. We should do that at some point for sure.
I'm down for some jiu-jitsu, bro. Get some pads. The boxing's gonna be a little bit tough, but bro, if you can learn how to grab somebody, if you know what's front and back, and you can get to their back, and you can get their neck, dog.
No, I want to get to boxing though.
Yeah, if we get you boxing, dog, the thing is the defense is gonna be a little bit. But we get like a solid
Money Mayweather, dude.
We got some solid 1-2s going. You feel me?
Yeah, that'd be fucking fun as shit, dude. We definitely gotta do a video of that for sure.
Yo, one thing that I always do on my interview guests.
Okay.
What advice? Because I always have what advice would you give? I always usually, so all my guests, you're my first different out of fighters, comedian, my first comedian guest on the podcast, dog. So what advice would you give for any upcoming comedians or anybody that hears this and maybe they make their friends laugh?
Yeah,
you know
I just
what do you recommend for anybody that wants to get into this comedy game?
I just gave an hour of advice. All right, so listen to this episode, subscribe to the Honey Badger podcast. But yeah, no, just get on stage, man. All right, so what I haven't said, if you want to do stand-up and you haven't done stand-up yet and you're hemming and hawing about a reason to do stand-up, one, it's the most fun, so you should do it for that reason. Two, you got to get up on stage. You shouldn't over-prepare for your first set. Your first set doesn't matter that much. Your first set, because preparing for your first set is, I mean, I'm sure you can talk about this in fighting, but like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you know? You're preparing for something that you have no reference for, you know? So go on stage once, you know, have a few, I'm not saying don't have anything written, but have a few things written, but don't worry too much about it. Just like go up and tell some jokes, and then you'll see what it's really like, you know? Because once preparing and then actually getting up there is two different things, you know? Once you get up there, once I got up there my first time, I was like, oh, everything I've been doing is wrong, you know? Like, I really, like, thought very differently about comedy than what it actually is, because it seems different from the outside perspective than what it is on stage, you know. So I suggest like going up, getting that out of the way your first few times. Like, don't worry too much about over preparing. Don't be like, oh, my set's got to be perfect. It's got to be hilarious. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. It doesn't. It's gonna suck. Everyone sucks. They're in the beginning. Just go up, see what it's actually like, and then you can write some jokes that people will like, because you didn't know. You know, you didn't know what people like before.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. Yo, my man, Chris, I appreciate you taking the time, bro.
Thank you, man.
Friday night.
Thanks, dude.
Big dog. Ladies and gentlemen, where can the people find you at?
So Chris Learns on Spotify. Check that out. It's called Chris Learns. And then Chris _Silio on Instagram, and Scheme Supreme _ on Instagram and TikTok. Scheme Supreme. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Honey Badger Hour. Have a great weekend. We're out.
Sick, dude.
My dog.